Welcome to Awakenings. Today I'm going to give you a short orientation to our studio. Before we go in, I'm going to show you to the right of our front porch is our recycling and garbage. That will be important later. To get into Awakenings, I'll need to give you an access code unless you're coming during the day, and you'll just punch it in here and open the door. Once inside, the studio is straight back through the kitchen, all the way back through these double doors. Now make sure to put the session sign in session so that when you're in session and you've got these doors closed, therapists or others who are using the kitchen space will know not to disturb you. There's a light switch here just beside the studio, and there's this little dimmer switch, if you can see that there, and this will control the brightness or dimness of the lights in the studio. Remember that while you are at Awakenings, there could be therapists in session at any time, all during the weekend in fact, so make sure to keep your voices down in the common areas such as our waiting room or even the kitchen. There is an in-out board right beside the kitchen door, and it's good to check that just so that you're aware of folks who are in. The folks at the bottom of the in-out board are in the basement, and that means some of them may even be practicing underneath the studio, because we have some offices downstairs under the studio, so just be aware of that. Now, we encourage folks to have their people enter the studio through the patio door. You can just open that up, and there's this beautiful entrance. Folks can come up here and enter through these two double doors. If the weather's a little foul, you can just leave the door slightly ajar for folks. If you close it all the way, it will lock automatically. Now, if you want to have the studio doors open fully, there's locks in the passive door that you can open. But when you lock up at the end of the day, your event, make sure to lock these locks, both up and down, so that the studio really is secure. There are places for shoes and bags and coats in these cubbies to either side of the door. We have an audio alcove and professional speakers in each corner of the studio, and you can bring CDs for our CD player, or you can hook up your MP3 player or laptop directly to this MIDI interface, and then make sure that you turn the volume up on the channel you're using, either the CD volume or the MIDI, the MP3 volume, and the master volume. If you have one volume up but the other volume, say master volume's all the way down, you won't hear anything. You need to have both volumes up to the level that you want. We ask that you not use candles in the studio unless you're using them in something like a tall glass, so that if it gets knocked over, there's no chance of flame contacting our beautiful cork floor. In the kitchen, We have a table that's also shared with our therapists when they're on their lunch break, so we ask that you not put your bags or other items on the kitchen table. You can clean up these items. These are the community discussion log that the therapists use here. You can kind of put these aside, say over on the microwave while you're using the space, but don't monopolize the table. If you need tables in the bathroom here, just off of the kitchen, you'll find several items. You'll find tables. You'll find additional chairs kind of tucked in there. You find a dry erase board, and you'll find brooms. And there's also a lost and found tucked around in there. There are also chairs in the studio stacked in one corner, and back jacks stacked in another corner. When it's time to leave and you're cleaning up, please just leave the studio as you found it. Stack all the back jacks here, stack the chairs over there, clean out the cubbies, make sure nobody's left anything behind. There's yoga equipment here, including bolsters and blankets. If you've used any of these, you can please put them back as well. Make sure to do your dishes. If there's any dishes, we don't want them all left on the counter. We ask that you do the dishes and place them in the dish rack. And if the garbage is overflowing or the recycling is overflowing and you've used some of that, please just take the garbage out and put it in the cans that I pointed to you outside. As you go out, there is make sure to turn the in-out sign back to welcome so people know that there's nobody in the studio any longer. There's air purifier over against the windows in the corner here. You've already closed this door and made sure the passive doors are locked. Make sure that these deck windows are also locked. And again, if it's smelly in here, you can turn on the air purifiers to clean it out, but only if it's needed. Turn off the lights. Close the doors. And check the in-out board. Make sure to turn lights off if nobody's left in the building, or if it's after 7 in the evening. As you go out, close the door and lock it behind you, and the way to lock it is just to pull it to and push the little lock icon in the middle. Test the door to make sure it's locked. And that's all you need to know. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. I'm Jim Davis, and you can reach myself or whoever is on duty here at Awakenings at 503-48-AWAKE. Thanks very much, and enjoy your use of the studio.